Washing Solutions and the one and only BBIA. It's that time of year again. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo is back this Friday and Saturday at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Over 70 vendors, ranging from home improvement and landscaping to boats and ATVs. This free event is for the whole family, with food, live music, and even kids workshops. Don't miss it. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo this Friday and Saturday, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. We'll see you there.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Dublin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega. Win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. When you hear it, text the keyword and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Then listen at 12:15 and 5:15. If we announce your name, race to the phones and call us back at the same number. How long it takes you to call is your qualifying time. The top qualifying time each week will win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500, Sunday, April 21st at Talladega Super Speedway. And the fastest qualifying time also wins passes to the incredible Talladega Garage Experience. Plus, your prize package may include tickets for Saturday's racing doubleheader. It's the Race to Talladega. From PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Panama City, Toyota, and your racing station. ESPN Northwest Florida. WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I love David's new strategy for our intros. I'm completely on board and very excited about it. Do you know what it is, Jay Henley?
You talking about David Hayes or David Spade?
Ooh, I like that. Man, Jay's already rocking and ready to go here on this Tuesday morning.
Do you think he even did that on purpose?
Yes, I'm going to give him credit on that.
All right,
you did.
all right.
You did.
A+, gold star. Where's it at, baby?
Yes. The Joe Dirt soundtrack will officially be our intro music, and we'll vary it every day. We're excited about that. But that was good, David Spade. That was good. David Hayes or David Spade?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. But it is Tuesday morning. You are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. As always, you can watch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. While you're there, like, follow, subscribe, comment, engage. Tell us if you don't like us, whatever it is. We appreciate your feedback and engaging with us here on the show. You can always give us a call all show long, 850-215-6290. You can also text that same number and also download our free mobile app. Where, Jay Henley?
The Google Play Store or Apple Store.
In the Google Play Store or that beautiful Apple Store. You just got to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida to find that one. Download it. All of our contests are up there. We're going to go over a new contest we got today. We previewed it a little bit yesterday, but it is up and ready for you to sign up. I think we've already got almost 10 people signed up for it, so we are excited about that. And that is, Jay,
We got a lot going on.
There's so much going on. So if you don't download the free mobile app, you're just pretty much limiting yourself on your opportunity to win stuff.
There's a way to get to Orlando to watch the Magic and
Magic
the Bulls.
Express.
They had the Magic Express.
That's coming up this weekend.
We got that going on. We got Talladega.
Race to Talladega, 12:15 today. If you listen to the Coach James Hale Show this morning, you would have heard the keyword. You would have texted in. We will randomly generate your name. Once we do that, you got to race to your phones. We had a good qualifying time yesterday.
Yeah, 4 or 3 seconds.
4 seconds.
4 seconds?
4 seconds. But that is beatable. You just got to be paying attention.
Yes, you do.
Just type that number in. If you hear your name, you hit the green button and it rings and you're here.
Yep.
Just like that in moments.
And last and certainly not least,
Definitely
the
not least.
Masters.
Yes, we're calling it the Blast at Bay Point. What that's going to be is you can go to download that free mobile app or go to ESPNPC.com and enter yourself in to the Masters Fantasy Challenge. That's all right there on Masters.com. Link up on ESPNPC.com. You go sign up, invite your friends to play. The more, the merrier. And we're going to have a round of 4 to Bay Point Golf Club for the winner of that Masters pool. See if you know more than Jay when it comes to picking these golfers for the Masters tournament. There's going to be some other fun prizes involved in that as well, but you can't win if you don't sign up. Head over to ESPNPC.com, click the Blast at Bay Point, and you'll get an opportunity to enter. And I appreciate the Masters and their website and their IT team for building this whole fantasy golf thing into their website.
Yeah. And IBM's one of the sponsors, right? I didn't even think IBM existed still.
It does.
Yeah.
They've been the IBM, is it Rolex?
Rolex, yeah.
AT&T?
Yeah.
There's only a few of them.
Right, yeah.
They get it all. And IBM's been a sponsor for them. I wonder how much money IBM has shelled out to Augusta National over the years. Because it's it. That's all they get. There's no other commercials.
No commercials. That's what I love about it.
It's the best time of the year.
It is.
It's coming up next week, and I think golf needs it more than ever.
Yes.
It is a little break from the, unless the live guy goes and wins it again.
Well, it's the piano as you come at no.
Yanni.
Yeah.
Yanni.
Oh, here's a good, well, it's a sports question.
Hey, poll question, sports is fine.
All right. Here's one
Did it
for
just
you.
come to your mind?
Yep, just came to my mind.
Right like that.
How much of an entry fee is it to get into a live event? Is it A, $9, B, $21, or C, $33?
Wow, bringing the fun facts this morning.
Yeah.
Low entry fees over there on the live tour.
Right? That's my, yeah.
That's good. When did this come across your life? You've been looking at live tour stuff? you're moving to the dark side?
No, just you got to keep your enemies close. Nope. And so I've been searching that live up a little bit.
Do you know what PGA Tour entry fees are?
I do not.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna say they're more than $33.
Right.
No doubt about that.
I don't know. At one point, I want to say it was $1 to get into that event, but anyways, I do have the answer to that because I did some research on it, and it's one of the three.
What are the options again?
$9. A's 9, B would be $21, and C is $33.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's what a lot of people don't know either. You actually have to pay to play in these events. I was just Googling it while you were talking. The entry for a PGA Tour tournament typically...
Well, I was thinking of a spectator.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about...
Okay, because I was about to say, wait, that changes the question over here.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking about the entry fee.
Oh, no, I was thinking of the entry fee for the spectator.
AKA ticket prices.
Or ticket price. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm on the same page with Jay.
Okay, I was not.
Okay.
I was not.
But I'm still curious with what you're searching up as far as the entry fee for a...
Well, and I recant my statement based on what you said. Some PGA Tour events, it's not very much to get into.
Right.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
And even like majors and stuff like that, some of them aren't that expensive. But I thought you were talking about the actual entry fee for the player to play in the event.
I could see how.
But the entry fee for a PGA Tour tournament, again, this is for the player to play in the event, ranges from $500 to $1,000 depending on the event. This fee covers the player's expenses for the week, including greens fees, range balls, and tournament amenities. I bet a lot of people didn't realize that you had to pay to play in a PGA Tour event.
Right.
I mean, $1,000 for these guys that, are making, $30 million a year. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
Isn't a ton, but still an entry fee nonetheless.
I'm sure that they get free food with that, I'm sure, right?
I would hope so.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. It sounds like the tournament amenities. I would assume that an amenity is food.
Food, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. The PGA Tour is trying to cut costs so they can save some money and pay out these massive purses that they're trying to keep up with.
Right.
That is for sure. But you need a couple minutes, or you want to dive right into it?
Into swing tip of the week.
It's Tuesday.
Well, I thought given the Phil Shomo coaching.com was my swing tip of the week from yesterday.
No.
No,
You don't get off that easy. Yeah.
Give me a few minutes. Give me
All
a few
right,
minutes to
we'll
process.
give you a few minutes. While we're doing that, I want to talk about the.
Oh, no.
He cut it. He was about to throw you in there. Just throw you right in the mix. That would have been good. I will talk we had a lot of basketball, big time basketball going on yesterday, which we'll jump into a little bit later on. We got Doc A coming up at 11:20. NBA's winding down, 5 to 7 games left, depending on where the teams are in their schedule, and things are heating up for those playing game races. That's for sure. At least on one half of the NBA over there in the Western Conference. But we did have, despite all the basketball attention yesterday, something happened yesterday in the Houston Astros game. Jay, you know what that is?
Ooh, was there a no-hitter yesterday?
There was. Blanco threw the first no-hitter in the majors in their 10-0 win over the Toronto Blue Jays. And what's interesting about Ronel Blanco is he's never pitched past the 7th inning, and this was only his 8th start in the majors. And he pitched a no-no. More to come, you think?
Probably. I mean, it's early in the season.
Very early in the season, and it is not the first time it's ever happened where the team's first win of the season came as a no-hitter, as this is the 17th no-hitter in Astros history and the first in the majors since Philadelphia Michael Lorenzen threw one last year on August 9th against the Washington Nationals. Houston's previous no-hitter came a week before that one when Framber Valdez did it in a 2-0 win over Cleveland on August 1st. Kyle Tucker and Yanier Diaz homered twice as the Astros won their first game of the season after losing 4 to the Yankees. Houston's manager, Joe Espada, became the first manager in Major League history to get his first win as a no-hitter. First win.
That's cool.
Do you hear a little echo?
A little bit.
Little tiny bit. That's all right. I'm just going to ignore it.
Yeah.
Pretend like I can't hear it because I barely can. And he said, obviously, this is the 4th time in MLB history that a team's first win of the season came as a no-hitter. The last time that happened, 23 years ago, when Boston's Hideo Nomo pitched one against the Orioles. Excuse me. Again, 23 years ago.
It's so hard to do.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah. You got to have good defense, obviously. You got to be able to throw that ball, hit all sections of the strike zone. No mistakes.
You can walk somebody.
Oh, well, yeah, you can. Yeah, that would be a perfect game, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah, perfect game.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
Impressive. Did we give you enough time? Did I kick the can down the road?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with it.
All right.
It's Jay's Golf Tip of the Week.
Oh, boy. Let's see here.
We do this every week.
I know.
Not every week. Sometimes you skip out also on Tuesdays.
This is true. Let's go with your lower handicappers, right? So how to get to break 80 is obviously finding out what the ball does from the fairway and what does the ball do in the rough. Because there are two different things that ball will do. Now, it's so important to hit the fairway because you're going to be able to hit that shot and the ball's going to be able to land on the green and it's going to be able to kind of
Should you hit it in the direction of the green?
Yeah. If you hit it on the green, it'll sit and it'll, stay. It'll do all the things that your dog does.
Why will it? My dog doesn't do that.
Yeah, what?
I know.
You sounded like it's good, right?
Shaggy.
But if you do hit it in the rough, it's typically penalizing. I mean, you won't see it at Augusta next week because they don't have a lot of
Is
rough.
it penalizing or penalizing?
It's penalizing.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it
I don't know what's right or wrong in that one.
I say penalizing.
Now you're going to second guess it every time you say it.
But when Charlie Sheen was in Major League, he played in the penal league. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Wild thing.
Wild thing.
But anyway,
no. So I mean,
not to interrupt you.
The rough, right, is like, so the ball's going to knuckle out. You want to be able to land it 10 or 15 yards short of the green and just kind of let that thing, trumble up onto the green would be a good word to use. But
so, moral of the tip of the week: when you're in the rough, land it short, let it roll up.
Yep.
Versus when you're in the fairway, you're going more the distance of the pins.
Right.
And why is that scientifically, why is there two difference when you're hitting out of the fairway versus hitting out of the rough?
Well, in the rough, you get a lot of grass underneath your ball. The ball doesn't spin as much.
Because the contact on the club face isn't just ball to the club face. There could be grass in the way, which reduces the RPMs on that golf ball.
Exactly. And it knuckles out, if we want to use a baseball term here. It knuckles out, and it'll just, you catch a flyer lie sometimes, and that just goes forever.
That's what's tricky about Bermuda rough is it could do the opposite. Sometimes it could come out real soft and real short because of that, and sometimes if it's sitting up in that rough, you can catch that thing and it'll go 20 yards further than you're used to hitting it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what makes Bermuda rough so difficult. Obviously, rye and bluegrass and bentgrass rough is tough, but the different structure of the leaf blade makes it a lot different as far as the ball coming out. You don't really catch flyers too much in those cool season grasses where you do in Bermuda.
Well, and that's the thing. When you go to the driving range, you're hitting off a tight lie typically. You're not, driving ranges don't have rough on the driving range. So, you're not ever practicing that rough shot. And so important to get out there on the golf course and play these different lies and see how the ball reacts.
Yeah.
Now, is this for somebody that can't break 100? No. I think we're kind of, zoning in to maybe somebody that's a 12 handicap.
12 or less.
Yeah.
How to get, because the lower you get in handicap wise, which obviously means you're playing better golf, the harder it is.
Right.
It's easy to go from a 30, or easier to go from a 30 handicap to a 20 handicap. It's a lot more difficult to go from a 10 to a 5 handicap.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
No, it is.
And tips like you just gave, that's almost a course management type of tip.
It is.
Now, obviously, if you're hitting to an uphill green and stuff like that, little different story. Just, that's just tougher. You got to do it. But, if people want to head out on the course with you and learn these course management tools and tips, what can they do?
golfwithjay.com.
There you go. And you got the on-course lesson option right there in your drop-down when you go to your website to choose that.
I do. And it's fun. It's fun to get out. And, if it's typically, if you do want to book that more in the late afternoon or first thing in the morning, that way that the course time is available.
Yes.
1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon this time of year.
Busy.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great option.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's an important one. It's a mix of, when you go practice, baseball or other sports and stuff like that. You're working on fundamentals, which in golf is the driving range, the chipping green, the putting green. Yep. And then the on-course lesson is kind of the actual playing of the game, whereas in all the other sports, you have the same thing. It's just golf seems to, and maybe I'm just thinking of it this way, golf seems to people get caught up in just hitting balls on the driving range when they're practicing.
Yep.
That's not the only aspect of practicing. And if that's all you want to do, that's fine. But if you want to get better at the game, you've got to cover all these facets of the particular game.
Well, yeah, and that's true, man. A true story in 2019.
We don't want you to lie to us.
Yeah, no, true story. 2019.
Pushing them false narratives.
But I see this guy on the driving range, and this isn't here. This is up in Georgia. But he comes at 5:05 every afternoon after work. He stripes range balls for 2 hours, and he never misses the pin. I'm like, dude, you're an amazing golfer. So I convince him to sign up for the men's club championship coming up.
Nice.
He never plays golf.
Yeah.
The guy shot 132, 128. For a 2-day total.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he couldn't transfer it over into the golf course.
If all you're working on is hitting the golf ball, you're not working on the game of golf.
Nope.
That's what we talked to Phil Shomo yesterday. Your golf swing and execution of the actual mechanics of the golf swing is one thing. Playing the game of golf on a competitive nature is an entirely different subject.
It is. Yeah.
I was just going to say that I practice flop shots towards hitting them at people.
See, there you go.
Yeah, but that's creating pressure, right?
Exactly.
If you blade that flop shot, somebody's going to get hurt. It might
Exactly.
lose a tooth.
You just try to land it on their head, and it works out well.
There you go. There you go. I think you guys should do a video, like Phil used to do, hitting it over people. You stand in front of Jay and David, and David has to hit a flop shot over you.
This is great team building right here. Great team.
It's trust. It's trust.
How much do you trust me, David Hayes?
Oh, I'll stand in front of you.
No. This is the opposite. You're standing still. He's the flop shot king.
This I value my life.
Yeah.
I don't.
We could do roles reversed, and I would trust that. I wouldn't trust myself hitting it over.
I would. Jay's not he's more the bump and run kind of guy.
I'm working on my flop.
The flop shot though make it a little dicey. But yeah, you see that all the time. Talk about trust. The flop shot challenge, hitting it over a human being, is the new trust fall of back in the day. That's what they should start doing in gym class when you practice the trust fall. Have people hit flop shots over you. That's trust.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother ballgame.
That's a whole nother level of trust.
Yes.
Where are you holding your hands whenever I hit that flop shot? You
Where
cover
do you
your
think?
face?
I would wear some equipment. I would wear some equipment. That we'll put them in full goalie gear.
Right.
NHL or hockey goalie gear.
There we go.
That'd be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'm turning around. I think I'm facing the other way. I don't want to see
take one right off the back of the head.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Ooh.
It's not good either way.
I think I would have my hands clasped together somewhere around the waist area.
Sure.
Protecting the
Yeah.
Yes.
And then outside of that, I mean, you hit me in the face, I'll just have a nice little shiner to deal with. It'll be
Just wear a mouth guard. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all. Get those chiclets knocked out. You ever done that? You ever hit a flop shot over somebody?
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah. It could be
we
interesting.
used to jump bikes over kids, but I never hit a flop shot over nobody.
Yeah. Whew. We used to do one of the courses I worked at. We did the for the Men's Golf Association. We did like what the Big Break did, and we built a wall, and we had the glass panes and all that stuff. And the people hitting over the flop shot over the wall. Not only was it trying to get under, you were trying to land it in a box on the other side of it. But
Yeah.
based on the results of that particular competition, there would have been a lot of people that got hit with the golf ball that day. That is for sure.
Did you watch that religiously back in the day? Were you a big fan?
The first couple seasons, yeah, but then
Yeah.
it kind of got on repeat for me. The first all-ladies Big Break, Brianna Vega won that, and I used to play high school golf against her. I probably told you this story. She
No.
played for Mendham High School. She was a senior when I was a junior, or a freshman, and we played Mendham one time at I think it was at Mendham Country. No, yeah, I think it was at Mendham Country Club, or it might have been somewhere else. But anyway, she was a really good golfer then. She went to a full ride to NC State, and then
Okay.
ended up winning the Big Break. I don't think she did anything on the LPGA tour because, again, that's just a whole other ballgame.
Yeah.
Flop shots over people. We need to make it happen. You trust me? Would you trust me to do it?
I would.
Would you?
I really would. Yeah.
Because you hit your shots high anyways, right? Well, it drives.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
flop shots and hitting the ball high are two different things. Because flop shots a very specific angle of attack and setup and all that stuff. Off a tight lie? Would you let me do it off a tight lie? With a 56, because I don't carry a 60?
Yeah, and I would watch you for 5 or 6 shots and see how you are for that particular day. And I
Okay.
want to be very observant.
That's not trusting.
Yeah.
I want to observe first.
No.
I mean, give me some observing.
That's not how this works.
I feel like you got a better opportunity if you just let me try it versus let me warm up and watch, because then I'm feeling the added pressure of, just one swing, one flop. I got it.
All right.
I got it.
You'd be thinking about it too much.
Yeah, exactly. You can't think. You just got to do. That's golf. Open a stance up, open a hands up, swing on that U-shaped outside to in, nip
Yep.
that, zip it right over you. I'll land it on top of your head and it'll spin with a 56.
Or it'll end up like the time that you broke the iPad.
Yeah, but that was on purpose.
That was
Yeah,
great.
well, yeah, no, absolutely. But
Man.
Yeah, you don't know my motives in this particular thing.
I remember. How many times did it take you to do that?
Well, Gab was trying with the driver a bunch first. I tried with the driver a couple times, but that wasn't really it. I think I got it with the punch 3-iron 2 or 3 times into
That's
it.
crazy.
Well, you're not far away from it.
But still.
No, it's your launch angle. You got it.
Yeah.
You would be able to do it easily with how low you hit the ball.
Negative.
Come on. But I've also done stuff like that before, just messing around trying to hit targets on punch shots.
That's fun.
I'm in the woods a lot, so you got to be able to have those avenues where you're hitting through tight windows and trust yourself.
That's right.
If you can hit that tree, that ball come right back to you.
Yep.
Coming up next, Doc A. We're excited to talk to him and see how his finals are going in the 30 Deep Fantasy League and get his opinions on who's going to come down the stretch here and who's the team to beat going into the playoffs. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back with Steve Alexander. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The Race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega. Right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind out of the south around 15 miles per hour and the high of 76. Tonight, look for a mixture of clouds and possible thunderstorms with a temperature near 70. Tomorrow, a high around 72 and a mixture of heavy rain and some clouds. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 67 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Join Kitchen Designs at the BBIA Great American Home and Recreation Expo, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. For full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, come see them at the Home Show or visit their 2 convenient showrooms, 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Come see it all at the Home Show, April 5th and 6th. They can't wait to meet you.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's alive! Look alive! We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Tuesday. That means only one thing. We've got Steve Alexander, better known to us as Doc A, on the line. 20 years at RotoWorld, now writing all things fantasy NBA for ESPN and RotoWire. Inducted into the Fantasy Writers Hall of Fame in 2023. And first off, Doc, how are you doing today? Second off, we need the update on the 30 Deep League after week 1 in the championship.
Well, I'm here. Fighting off this Georgia pollen.
Oh, it is the time of year. It is the time of year. As we were texting earlier, I remember doing Masters Week and doing double shotguns every day, just watching the yellow move across the sky during those. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Yeah, our black cars are yellow and all that. But I won week 1, 5-4. And I'm in a dogfight in week 2. I need Wemby to play. I lost Rashawn Holmes. He didn't play last week because of a toe injury, so I've got another Spur out there, Chetty Osman, who is about as unreliable as fantasy basketball players come. So I'm a little nervous about him, but the Spurs shut down Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan, who are both very good players for them. So Chetty should play a lot. And then I've also got Zach Collins in case Wemby doesn't play. So it's a battle. It's going to be tight. If I win this week, it's over and I win. And if I lose this week, then we play again next week. So it's intense. And if I don't win, I'm going to be really, really mad. So.
And if I thought I saw, I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but it seems like Wemby had a huge game in one of the games for you in that first week of the championship.
Well, he sat one out, and they had a kind of a dud, but it wasn't horrible. And then he went crazy against the Knicks last Friday when he had 40 points, 20 rebounds, like 7 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 3 threes. And then he also, Jalen Brunson, scored 61 points in that game and wanted to keep the ball for his trophy case. And Wemby took that ball and threw it in the stands.
Jeez.
Which was a bulldog move, I thought. And he got fined $25,000 for it. And a ball boy apparently got the ball back for Jalen Brunson. But as far as I'm concerned, Wemby should have been trying to keep that ball because he had 40 points and 20 rebounds.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of
And
thinking.
they won.
Yeah, it looked good. It was that Friday night game. I was like, ooh, Doc A is going to like that one. That's for sure.
Yep.
That
It
is
was
for
nice.
sure. Well, we wish you good luck in this dogfight this week, and hopefully you don't have to sweat another week out next week, and you could just get that trophy in the 30 Deep League by the end of this week on Sunday. A lot of NBA games played on Sunday, so it seems like it's always probably going to come down to those Sunday games.
All 7 of my starters go on Sunday. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's a big day. And if they come out and say Wemby's going to take that day off and rest, it's just going to devastate me.
You need to make a call into Pop and see if he can make something happen for you.
Pop would be like, "Oh yeah, you're in the Fantasy Sports Writers Hall of Fame, and you're a fantasy guy, and you want me to play Wemby on Sunday?"
Benched.
Okay, he's benched.
Oh, that's funny. That is
Pop's,
funny.
I don't think Pop's a big fantasy guy.
Probably not. Probably more focused on getting back to some championships, that's for sure. Obviously, coming down the wire here in the NBA, getting ready for playoffs, 5 to 7 games, depending on how the schedule is all shaken out. I know the 76ers are kind of on the back end of the standings a little bit. They're currently number 8 in the standings, the last spot before the play-in games. I know Joel Embiid is scheduled to come back here pretty shortly. How important do you think that is for Philadelphia going into the playoffs?
I think it's important in that they get him some work, just to get him, back into game condition before the playoffs start. It really sounded at the beginning like he might play tonight, but he's not going to. But Thursday sounds pretty realistic for Joel Embiid to play. So I think it's important for them to get him in there. I mean, obviously they're not going to go very far in the playoffs without Joel Embiid. They need him up to speed and healthy. They're already down there the 8th seed, so they've got some. They still have some work to do, but yeah, it's going to be the Hawks and the Bulls as the 9 and 10 seeds. The Nets kind of gave up the fight. The Magic and Pacers are having a little bit of a battle with the Heat to see who that number 6 seed is going to be. So that's interesting in the East. And then in the West, you've got this Dallas, New Orleans, Phoenix thing, all fighting for, 5 through 7. And then the Kings are right there too. Looks like the Warriors and Lakers are probably going to be the 9 and 10, but the Rockets are still coming after the Warriors really hard. And they play head-to-head on Thursday night, and that is a huge game it'll be like a playoff game. So that'll be worth watching.
Yeah,
the Rockets somehow won 11 games in a row until Luka and the Mavericks beat them to have their own 7-game winning streak. And now Dallas is winning the division over New Orleans, and they moved up to a number 5 seed, which is important because it helps Luka's chances of getting more MVP votes.
Absolutely. Yeah, last week when we were talking about the Golden State on a slide and Houston just tearing it up, and then the Warriors have since ran 4 straight games, kind of giving themselves a 2-game lead on that last 10th spot there for the play-in game. So, like you said, that matchup coming up, I think you said on Thursday, is going to be huge for playoff implications, that's for sure.
Doc A, we haven't heard a crazy story in a while. I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you have anything crazy from your past that's on your mind this morning?
Crazy story. Let's see here.
And we can punt.
Get out the Rolodex. There's a lot of them. That's for sure.
I'm imagining all his papers stacked up, from the
bracket challenge.
From the bracket challenge, yeah. Are they still on your desk?
Oh yeah, they're right. They're always just an arm's length away. So it's baseball season. I'm kind of fired up about the Braves right now.
Yeah.
Let's go to 1993, I think it was, and me and my brother went down to Cincinnati to see the Braves play the Reds. We somehow got into the hotel where they were staying and sat in the lobby, and they didn't let anybody else in the hotel, so there's like 200 people outside by the bus, and my brother and I are just chilling inside. And I had a baseball with me, and we had stayed up super late, and we walked to the hotel with my friends, and I was like, man, I need a pen to get this ball signed. So I stopped at a bank and just grabbed a free pen and rolled with it. And so we're hanging out in there. Dion comes down. I get my picture taken with Dion, which is one of my favorite things ever. And then Steve Avery, John Smoltz, and Tom Glavine all come out of the elevator. And I have all 3 of those dudes sign my baseball. And we get it home. The picture of Dion came out perfectly out of the Photomat lab. However, after about a year, my prized baseball with Smoltz and Glavine and Avery on it, the ink faded off, and it was just a baseball after like 2 years.
Oh, stupid bank pen.
No kidding. Was it blue or black?
It was blue, and it was trash. It was absolute garbage.
Typical bank pen.
Yep. So that was a mistake. That was a lesson learned. If you're gonna get a baseball sign, you need to get a Bic and stick with it. A blue Bic is the way to go there. And then if you're gonna get like a Sports Illustrated cover or a picture sign, you need a Sharpie. Do not stop at the bank and get a free pen.
Hey, you were just being resourceful though, trying to get yourself an opportunity to have the pen. That's for sure.
Kind of like the number 2 pencil when you had the Scantrons back in the day.
The old Dixon Ticonderoga.
Gotta be a number 2.
Gotta be.
Nothing else will work.
That's peak. That's peak pencil usage. But that's, common theme for you, Doc A, seems to be you were always where the players were when it seemed like nobody else had the opportunity to be. I don't know if that's just your willingness to get yourself into situations or, a little luck along the way as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I was young. I was skinny. I had an honest face, apparently. I don't know. Hell, no one would let me anywhere near an NBA player today. I look like a 55-year-old stalker.
A little easier to get away with it when you're young, there's no doubt.
Back then, I was, just me and my little brother hanging around, harmless, with a big old camera and a bag full of crap to have signed.
I still feel like, Doc A, if we were, up in Atlanta and there was a nightclub that was invitation only, you could somehow get us in that back door. I would think.
I can do that in Dahlonega. I can get you anywhere to go in my little town. I'm sort of I don't know
how to say this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I don't know how to say this, but I'm kind of a big deal. I'm in the Hall of Fame. There's not a lot of Hall of Famers in Dahlonega, but you go to Atlanta, you got to deal with all the Dominique Wilkins and Tom Glavine and Chipper Jones of the world, so it's a little different.
Yeah,
a little bigger pond up there, but. No, I don't really know my way around Atlanta well enough to get you guys in the club with Lil Wayne and Usher. But in Dahlonega, I can certainly get you hooked up with who you need to be hooked up with.
Like panning for gold in Dahlonega, that's a big deal. You got to pan for gold when you're up there.
Well, if you went to grade school in Atlanta, chances are you took a field trip to Dahlonega to pan for gold.
There you go. Look at you guys, bringing it all back together.
That's it.
I wanted to ask you, too, Doc, I don't know what transpired afterwards. We talked about it weeks ago, but your son was trying out for the golf team, and I was just curious to see how that was going, because we've obviously talked about your son with his driving tests and things like that, and then hitting a parked car and having to go talk to the neighbors, and not to bring your son into everything, but I was curious to see how he's doing on the golf side.
Well, and his car also got run over at Park and Rec a couple weeks ago, so I've been in a rental car since then. We'll be in it for the foreseeable future.
I'm really excited about both my kids getting their driver's licenses down the road.
So fun. And then we went out and played golf right before tryouts. He hit the ball really well. Things were looking good. And he went out there and absolutely just had a meltdown in tryouts. And he didn't even put up a fight. So that's sort of how he rolls.
I gotcha.
It's tough.
He is not on the golf team.
Golf is tough. We were just talking about it. Jay always does his tip of the week in the first segment on Tuesdays, and was just mentioning, how, so many people just practice, but then when they get out and play in a competition, it's a whole different ballgame, and it's just their game is so mental when it comes to that kind of stuff. Pivoting to college basketball, I'm going to put you on the spot about Caitlin Clark. Best ever women's player to play the game?
I think so. Yes.
Just all around. Last night kind of sealed that legacy a little bit, you think?
What she's doing and just toying with people and throwing up bombs, it's crazy to watch. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired of the Caitlin Clark hype. I feel like she's kind of up there with Dion and Taylor Swift and Kelsey. It's just like there's only so much we can handle of one person, but what she's doing is incredible, and it's fun to watch. And she had a tough matchup last night, and she just abused the the people that were trying to guard her. I mean, she just
And
literally
trying is the right word, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Kim Mulkey's press conference afterwards, she's like, I don't know how you guard her. Because
Yeah.
she, like you said, she can just make any shot. Not only did she score 41 points, but she also had, 17, 12 assists, something like
12
that.
assists.
So
Yeah, 12 assists.
she's a playmaker as well. She's not just the scorer. She's setting other teammates up for scoring as well.
Yep, and then on the men's side, we got this NC State Jimmy V vibe going, which is
Yep, absolutely.
really fun with that big dude. I don't even know his
DJ
name, but
Burns, yeah.
he doesn't miss shots. He gets fouled. He still gets it in. Like, he's been super fun. And then you got Alabama there, which nobody saw coming, and that's pretty fun as well. So that my 130 bracket pool is still wide open. Like, we don't know who's going to win.
That's good. That makes it more exciting down the road because sometimes at this point you can have a winner that's already set in stone. But cool to see both NC State and UConn have a men's and women's team in the Final Four. So with that being said, who do you think is going to win each one of those, the men's and the women's side?
I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark on the women's side, and I'm going to go with UConn on the men's side.
Yeah, I think UConn just, when watching them play through this tournament, just dominate every opponent. They seem to be the most well-rounded, best and good guard play. They can move it in, down low, good defense, and should be a fun Final Four coming up both Friday and Saturday on the women and the men's
I will be
side.
pulling for Alabama and NC State, though. I want NC State. I want NC State to win it.
I think, yeah, unless you're a fan of UConn or a fan of Purdue, I think you are pulling for NC State to win the men's side. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a Purdue guy too because I'm from Indiana.
Yeah.
I have a lot of relatives and friends who went there, so I won't be mad if Purdue wins it. And they look really good. I mean, Zach Edey's no joke.
No, he's probably
I
the.
feel like NC State has this destiny thing going, so it's going to be fun.
It feels like it, that's for sure. That is for sure. Before we got to let you go, I know we'll probably have you on during Masters Week next week, but being the Golden Tee junkie and golf avid player that you are, who do you like for the Masters next week?
Oh, man, I haven't even thought about it yet. Is Victor Hovland, are his odds any good?
Yeah. I would think his futures to win it are pretty good. That's Jay's guy.
Yeah, go with Victor, man. He's due. He's due for a
He
Master.
is due.
Yeah.
I like Victor Hovland's game, and I like him at Augusta.
Happy
I
fellow.
think I picked him the last 2 years, and he really didn't do that much. But
Victor Hovland's plus 2,500 right now.
okay,
Not bad.
Is that like fifth or sixth on the list? Or
You
further down?
got Scotty at 450, and then big gap between the odds-on favorite and the next, which I would never put money on him at Augusta, and that's Rory McIlroy at plus 1,100. And then you got two live guys coming in third and fourth. You got John Rahm at plus 1,300 and Brooks Koepka at plus 2,000, followed by Jordan Spieth at plus 2,100 and Xander Schauffele at 2,400, and then Victor Hovland coming in at that seventh best odds, followed by Ludwig Adberg at plus 2,700.
Yeah, I like Hovland right there. And I saw a funny thing on Twitter yesterday that if you don't understand what plus 800 means,
yeah, they're
in
right.
gambling, is like if you bet $100 on Rory McIlroy to win at Augusta, it means you lose $100.
I know. I saw that too. That was so good. We were talking at length yesterday a little bit about. I was watching that Greg Norman 30 for 30 again, and it's just some people just can't win at Augusta, and it's just one of those places that it means more. It's just a different. It puts pros that are usually unflappable into pressure situations because it's Augusta National and the Masters. It's just such a special place.
Well, Phil couldn't do it for a long time, and then he finally did it, and he did it. He did it again. But
yeah,
he was Rory for a long time.
He was. I was actually there on 18 green when he won his first one.
Well, who, Rory?
Oh, wow.
No, Phil.
Phil? Yeah.
When he jumped 3 inches off the ground.
Oh,
That's what I was going to say. I was going to give him 4 inches.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It wasn't very high. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it was the most natural reaction that I think you'd see after. And that was that putt down the hill on 18, caught the lip and fell in.
Yes.
And then I think he won 2 more since then.
Yeah.
But
I still have that Sports Illustrated cover in my little briefcase because I know one day I'm going to run into Phil and get that thing autographed. But it's always there just in case.
Yep, absolutely. I have a Phil Mickelson autograph on a USC Southern California hat from being at the Buick Open up in Rochester, New York one time. It's the only thing I had, and he was there and he signed it. So being an Arizona State Sun Devil, he probably didn't like it too much, but he still signed it.
I have a Phil Mickelson autograph on an Indianapolis Colts hat, and I have a Peyton Manning autograph on a golf trophy that I won. So I kind of flip-flop them as well.
I like it. Well, Doc, we appreciate your time as always, and hopefully when we talk to you next Tuesday, we can maybe focus a little more on the Masters and the NBA playoff race, but hopefully you're talking about winning the 30 Deep Fantasy Challenge, which is will be pretty special for you.
I look forward to it, boys.
Absolutely.
Yes,
have a great rest of your Tuesday. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking you on the ultimate road trip to see the Orlando Magic. It's the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. We're taking a busload of ESPN listeners and driving them to see the Orlando Magic play the Chicago Bulls Sunday, April 7th. You'll watch all the action from a presidential suite. For your chance to win, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by Holland Hearts and PCB Hobby.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Hey Bay County, it's Dean Jackson with Old Glory Washing Solutions and the one and only BBIA. It's that time of year again. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo is back this Friday and Saturday at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Over 70 vendors, ranging from home improvement and landscaping to boats and ATVs. This free event is for the whole family, with food, live music, and even kids workshops. Don't miss it. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo this Friday and Saturday, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. We'll see you there.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than SNR Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At SNR, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. SNR Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
It's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves pick up their first shutout of the season. I'm Kevin McAlpin, and your Braves Radio Network morning updates coming up next.
Tickets for the Braves 2024 season are going fast. This season is jam-packed with great matchups. Get your tickets at braves.com/tickets.
Monday afternoon in the Windy City, the Braves blanked the Pale Hose by a score of 9-0 in a game shortened by rain after 8 innings. Braves would start the scoring in the third on a ground out from Ronald Acuna Jr. and tack on 2 more in the fourth on a 2-run double off the bat of Orlando Arcia. Braves would add another in the sixth on an RBI double from Ozzie Albies, his 7th RBI of the season, and they would add the exclamation point on a 3-run homer from Austin Riley in the top of the 8th. Charlie Morton picked up the win in his season debut, tossing 5 2/3 scoreless, scattering 3 hits with a pair of walks and 6 strikeouts. Meanwhile, it was Dylan Lee and Tyler Matzik closing things out as the Braves secured the victory, their first shutout of the new campaign. Braves and White Sox will continue their 3-game series coming up later on tonight as Ronaldo Lopez faces his former mates. And as always, hear all the action from Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is coming your way at 7:40 p.m. Eastern.
Locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, coming up at 12:15, a little less than a half an hour from now, it'll be Tuesday's version of the Race to Talladega in this second week. We already had a winner from the first week. This week, we're looking for our second one. Already got a pretty good time out there to beat, but that doesn't mean you don't have an opportunity. If you listen to the Coach James Hale Show this morning, you would have heard the keyword. You would have texted in with your name. We will randomly generate that name at 12:15. If you hear your name called, Jay, what number do you got to call?
850-215-6290.
And your qualifying time will be how quick you can get to the phone and give us a call. If your qualifying time is the fastest at the end of this week, you'll win a pair of tickets up there to the Geico 500 at the Talladega Super Speedway, which you don't want to miss out on.
If you use the roto dial, do you get like a head start? Do you get...
No. You get like it's like a handicap. You get strokes taken off. Like 30 seconds in a roto dial is like 2 seconds in cell phone dialing.
Okay, I got you.
Because you can get it already ready to go.
Right.
Time is different. You know where's a good place to get autographs? You know, we're talking to Doc A about getting stuff signed.
Where?
Augusta National.
Really?
Yeah, because when you're in practice rounds, like over by the practice facility, the chipping area, all that stuff, the players are very apt, especially for the younger people out there. Then you get a great opportunity to get it. Now, getting into Augusta National is a little different story. Tough to get those tickets. I suggest always entering the lottery. Even if you can't go, you sell your ticket. But yeah, getting autographs at Augusta National during practice rounds is really not that tough.
Right.
Especially if you're a younger folk. Just sneak right up to the front. They do a good job of it. They really make it a very good fan experience, but they do everything good there.
Yeah, they do.
Speaking of doing everything good, we were talking a little bit with Doc A, but Caitlin Clark, did you catch any of that game last night?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, I did.
Well, when we ended the show yesterday, you said you were going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, just a little bit of it. You know, I watched.
So pulled you in there. What'd you think?
It was good. I mean, she's the real deal. I mean, she really is. She's got the passion. You can see the passion that she has. I will say that Kim Mulkey, man, that'd be a tough coach to play for right there.
Feisty.
She may run and jump, but she don't play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
A good coach to play for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I never played under her, but
not yet. Not yet. There's still time. Never say never. Never say never.
Working on that transition.
Absolutely. It was just a couple days ago. But some stats from the game with Caitlin Clark. Obviously, they took down in the rematch of last year's title game. They took down LSU, which is a great team led by Kim Mulkey. Angel Reese had a fantastic game. She had 17 points and 20 rebounds for LSU. And, afterwards in the press conference, she really kind of put everything out there. And, she's been through a lot since winning the national championship. And there's, it's just tough when you're a superstar and the media is always, in this day and age, every little thing, it's just so easy to be criticized and it's hard to block out that noise. And I feel like she let it go a little bit yesterday in the press conference, kind of to letting her emotions out and saying, I'm human.
Talking about Reese?
Yeah, Angel Reese.
She fouled out, right?
She did on that charge, yeah. And I just think, there was a lot of built-up emotion from the national championship last year after winning and all the stuff she kind of dealt with that was released at that press conference. So hopefully she can move on and head on to a great WNBA career. But
she looks more like a singer than she does like a basketball player. Like those eyelashes and stuff. I don't know. She just seemed like she would.
Like you don't look like a singer, and you can sing.
No, I can't.
Come on.
No.
Friday will be here in a few days. That's for sure. But yeah, some of the things that Caitlin Clark did yesterday, she had 41 points, which tied her career record, 12 assists, 9 threes made, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. No other NBA, WNBA, or Division I men's or women's player in the last 25 years has reached all of those numbers in any single game. And she did that with a trip to the Final Four on the line. Pretty impressive stuff. Some other stats. Remember, she set the record for most 3 points made in Division I NCAA history. Another pretty crazy stat there, too. And then, of course, her career in the NCAA tournament, she's closing in on setting the record for points. She's currently at 400 points in the NCAA tournament. She's 38 points shy of the Division I record. She has 140 assists in the NCAA tournament, and that's a Division I record. And she's made 73-point field goals in her NCAA tournament career, which is also a tournament record.
That's Caitlin or Reese?
That's Caitlin.
That's Caitlin.
Yes. Thank you for paying attention.
Yeah.
But what do you think? You think it's Iowa? Is it Destiny? She's never won a national championship. That's kind of the one box she hasn't checked yet in her career.
Yeah.
You think it's time?
Well, and look, her teammates watching that game last night. I mean, her teammates do get a lot of that credit because
As they should.
I mean, they're unfortunately. It's all about the Caitlin Clark show, and
she had 12 assists.
I mean that's the thing. That's the beauty of it is she is passing the ball around and giving that assist to a lot of her players. But you want to hear from some of the other players too. But unfortunately, Caitlin's in the light
she's
right now.
It's part of that superstardom for sure. But I mean, she's just so tough to guard, because she makes shots from any direction. But David, what do you think? You think it's Iowa? You think it's destiny for Iowa to win the championship this year?
Well, I picked LSU yesterday, and that didn't pan out. Great job by Iowa and Caitlin Clark getting the rest of her teammates involved, and what's her name, Katie Martin, getting the rest of the Hawkeyes involved there. So that was great for them. They're very strong. They're extremely strong, but I'm still riding with Connecticut, man. I've got UConn taking down Iowa, and then we'll see what happens in the championship game. But I've got a decent bracket, not as good as LSU Jeff's. I'm at like 97.9 percentile, like in 65, top 65,000 or so. But Jeff's up there like in the top 5,000 of the bracket. So I'll look up those numbers in a second. But I really like the way that Connecticut moves the ball around, and having Paige back is really influential for them. So no one really expected them to get as far as they did this year. So we'll see. But destiny is definitely seemingly to be on the side of Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. But I watched 100% of the UConn USC game last night, and I would say 60% of the was Iowa LSU game.
Yeah. Hey. And I think that's probably in tune with most of America. That's for sure. I just don't know, Jay Henley. Is anybody going to be able to beat those Gamecocks?
I don't know.
It's a new starting five from this year versus last year. They've been dominant. They haven't lost a game since the national championship last year, or since they lost to LSU in the Final Four. Excuse me. And they're going up against NC State, so be tough.
I would like to see Dawn Staley get a D1 men's job.
Yeah,
I think she would be a heck of a coach anywhere.
Absolutely, yeah, she's fantastic. I mean, I think she just knows basketball, and she's passionate. She gets her players fired up, and it's going to be a fun Final Four. It's wild that the women's tournament is like a day behind the men's tournament, and then it flip flops.
Yeah,
they play Friday, the men play Saturday, and then the championship's Sunday for the women, and the championship's Monday for the men.
You can hear those games right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to be playing the women's Final Four and the championship game, and the men's Final Four and championship game.
Yeah, that will be awesome. That is for sure. But yes, it's coming down. We've only got 8 total teams left in the 2 tournaments, and just like that, it started so quickly. It's going to be overcome this Monday. But the beautiful thing of that is what starts on Monday.
The Masters.
Did you see they're adding the par 3 course to the Masters edition of the golf game? I think it's the Road to the Masters, PGA Tour Road.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. I like it.
There you go.
Don't win the par 3 tournament, you won't win the tournament.
That's true. Bad luck. Nobody ever has.
LSU Jeff is actually ranked 222.
Come on.
99.9%. I'm actually lower than what I said. I'm at
he's at
75,000.
Out of how many people?
I don't know.
They don't give you that information, but probably over 1 million.
Let's see here. I'll pull up. So over 1 million for sure, because Coach Olds is in our group as well. He's at 1.6 million with 840 points.
222?
Well, I know there's at least 22
How many games has he gotten wrong?
Well, 99.9%. He's got the Final Four: South Carolina, North Carolina State, Iowa, and UConn.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's great.
That absolutely is. I mean, he had the Elite Eight: South Carolina, Oregon State. He had North Carolina State over Texas. He had. I don't know if he made this bracket after everything happened. Come on, dog.
Yeah,
man, that is impressive. That is impressive, LSU.
Dude, he had the whole. Okay, he didn't have the whole Sweet 16. He had the Sweet 15, the Fantastic 15, right?
I mean, 15 out of 16 in the Sweet 16, regardless of what bracket it is nuts. And the fact that he's an LSU fan and he picked Iowa to beat LSU in the Elite Eight just shows that he's putting his bracket ontology over his fandom, which is how you win.
Yeah,
because you can't let your emotions get in the way.
But if UConn wins the whole thing, I will finish above him. I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why you're pulling for UConn.
Well,
who does he have winning the national championship?
He's got South Carolina.
South
winning.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Congrats, LSU, Jeff. That's impressive. That's like, you know what I mean? That's like less than 99 or better than 99.9%. I'm sure if you like went it all the way out, it would be like 9999999 and then maybe a 0 or a 1 at the end.
That's crazy.
222 out of over, tens of millions. That's pretty wild.
Yep, right here in our own backyard.
Right here in our territory. Yeah. Here in beautiful Northwest Florida. But yeah. I was going to get to the DJ Burns thing, but we don't really have enough time because it was a reading this morning. There's legitimate NFL interest in DJ Burns potentially being an offensive tackle. But if we have time later on today, we'll dive into that. But it's a real thing. It's not just like parody. But I can see why. A guy can move his feet. He's got good leverage. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got good rhythm and balance as well.
Which is very important.
He kind of looks like Ice Cube a little bit.
No, he does not at all look like Ice Cube.
Not in the least.
Of the physique. No, all right.
All right, that's a good way to end our first segment here on the show. When we get back, it's time for our Afternoon Delight debrief. Who knows what Jay is going to be saying today? You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. We'll see you at the top of the hour.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer, number 9.
Saturday, April 27th at Bayhaven Charter Academy. In the main event, it's a tag team showdown with Exodus versus Mike Steele and Mr. 850. Plus exciting women's wrestling. Tickets still just $12. Ages 6 to 17, only $8. 5 and under, free.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind out of the south around 15 miles per hour and the high of 76. Tonight, look for a mixture of clouds and possible thunderstorms with a temperature near 70. Tomorrow, a high around 72 and a mixture of heavy rain and some clouds. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 67 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. That's 800-261-7365.
And now, the Afternoon Delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon Delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon Delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. That song means one thing. One, it's the afternoon. But two, it's time for our Afternoon Delight debrief. And we'll see what we got on the docket for today. But first, don't forget about our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. Right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Right there in the corner. It's the Kramer Mecca is what it is. You've got all those new vehicles in stock. Beautiful trucks. $10,000 to $20,000 off. Service department's rocking and rolling. New tires at cost. And, of course, it's a little cloudy out there today. We might get some rain early tomorrow morning, but by the time that clears out, it's going to be beautiful again. And that means one thing. It's time to get your boat out on the water. If you don't have a boat, you can buy a boat. If you have a boat, it needs to be fixed. They'll take care of that for you. They'll even come to you, pick it up, bring it to the dealership, or just fix it up right there on your dock. Lots of new and used boats in stock. That's Kramer Marine and Outdoor, selling Sundance, Skeeter, Spider, and Seabourn, Sundance, Spider, and Skeeter. Yes.
Skeeter, there you go.
All part of that CRI family. You can check out all their new and used inventory at KramerMarineOutdoor.com. You got one for us yet, Jay?
Well, I'm searching a bit.
Perusing around the old intranet and seeing if you can find something.
I know we were talking about squatters last week.
Oh, yes, we were.
Yeah.
We were.
I've seen my share.
Have you? I don't know.
What are you doing? Just driving around like code enforcement or something?
Are you a process servant and we just don't know it?
I'm undercover.
Yeah.
No, squatters in a $930,000 New York home. Ooh. This is another squatter.
Yep.
Submitted a $25 Shake Shack receipt as evidence they deserve to stay there.
That's 100% what I thought the Shake Shack meant.
Unbelievable.
If you can drop some dimes at the Shake Shack, you can basically take over somebody's house.
There you go. Yeah. So
it goes hand in hand.
When two alleged squatters were locked out of the $930,000 New York home where they were living, they submitted multiple pieces of evidence that purportedly show they have the right to stay. Among that evidence was the $25 Shake Shack receipt.
Huh.
Can you believe this?
Apparently, if you can buy a Shake Shack, you can just assume somebody's $939,000 home. It's actually a fairly cheap home for New York.
Funny that you bring up. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know we were talking about, the squatters of the truck thing kind of led to, I didn't even know as of last week that existed.
Yep. See,
and
the whole point of the show is for you to be educated on a daily basis.
Hey, man, I'm ready for Harvard.
That, then we're not, I don't know about Harvard, but close.
Close. Okay. Yeah.
Close.
Baby steps.
Yeah. We just got to retake the SATs. That's all.
True.
You do better now than you did back then?
Probably not. Yeah.
Regress.
I just want to get to 1,000, man. That's where I want to get to.
Don't we all?
Well, tying in with that real quick on WMBB.com, Florida's new squatters law is going to be going into effect July 1st. It will allow property owners to request help from law enforcement under certain conditions. Deputies can respond if the individual has unlawfully entered and remains on the property. The individual has been directed to leave the property by the owner but has not done so, and the individual is not a current or former tenant in a legal dispute. Punishment for squatters can be a first-degree misdemeanor, second-degree misdemeanor, or first-degree felony. So, kudos to Florida.
Yes, sir.
Unless they buy a, was it Shake Shack receipt?
That gets you through, obviously.
I figured it would have been Steak and Shake. Now, if you got a Steak and Shake, then you can squat.
Right.
But Shake Shack?
Yeah.
Come on. When's the last time you had a milkshake?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
How about you, Ryan?
It's been a long time. Milk and me don't get along as well as it probably should. So ice cream every once in a while is fine, but a full-on milkshake just it's great, but then things go awry.
You got to think ahead, if you will.
Yeah.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's it. But yeah, no. Liam had a shake before the baseball game yesterday.
Oh, great!
Hey, you got to load up.
Yeah,
these kids are built different. Right. From the old Tally-Ho too.
Dang,
right there in the corner.
That is hardcore.
It was.
And being on that mound, that's the last thing you want to be mid. Yeah,
he's got an ironclad stomach.
Okay.
Dad? No, Dad's not doing that. Dad's not having a milkshake before he does anything physical. That is for sure. What flavor do you think it was?
Chocolate.
Nope.
Strawberry.
Nope.
Vanilla.
Nope.
Cookies and cream.
Nope.
Cookie dough.
Nope.
Butter pecan.
No. This isn't ice cream. It's a shake.
Oh, okay.
Banana.
Oh, banana.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least it was healthy, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Potassium. It's good for cramping.
It is. It really is.
So is pickle juice.
Yes, pickle juice.
Yeah. I saved the pickle juice and drank that junk straight out the jar.
It's loaded with electrolytes.
A lot of salt, though. You got to watch that.
Yeah, but if salt's actually good.
Yeah, okay.
To a certain degree, because if you don't have salt in your system, you're not going to sweat.
Yeah.
And that's not good for hydration. Right. Now, I'm not saying go out there and, have a sweet tea, but a drink with salt, with the amount of sugar they use for sweet tea and use salt. That would be terrible.
There you go. I'm going to start doing that.
Salt tea. Salty. Oh, man. I knew today was
I
going to be...
chase my sweet tea with pickle juice, baby. Mm-hmm.
Mix it together. You ever had a pickle sickle?
That sounds gross.
It's the same thing, just in frozen
No,
form.
sir. Can't do it. Won't do it.
So you're not...
And I love pickle juice.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
But you can't have a pickle sickle?
No, that sounds terrible.
Why? What's the difference? It's just frozen pickle juice.
I'm kind of right there with you. The texture, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Chewing, I can't imagine just biting off and then chewing pickle juice.
So that's how you eat a regular popsicle? You're just like,
yeah, I chew.
My teeth can't handle that.
Snap, crackle, pop, baby.
Yeah. Got to work the popsicle down. You can't just go in there and just snap it off. I'll get a brain freeze.
Y'all like the sweet pickles better or the regular pickles?
I don't trust people who like sweet pickles.
I'm the same way, Ryan.
I don't trust David Hayes.
No. I like the regular pickles, but there was one time I got one of the burgers from I don't like saying people's name who's not a sponsor.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
but they put the sweet pickles on the burgers, right?
Okay.
Dave's Burgers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Since then, the first time I bit into it, and I was like, oh, man, like it had been a while since I had that brand of a burger, and I was like, oh, what in the world is this? But then the next time I went, I was like, well, I'm not going to be like, I don't want no pickles on the burger or whatever. I don't want you to have to take any extra steps to feed me. I just want to eat whatever it is you put in front of me. So I just started to become accustomed to it. So I much prefer the regular pickles, but I can get beyond the taste of the sweet pickles.
Okay.
You ever had a small dill pickle that looks like a sweet pickle, and then it turns out to be a sweet pickle when you're trying to eat a small dill pickle?
Man, I'm having a rough day if that happens.
And kudos to the people that like sweet pickles, because that just gives you more options in life. And I'm actually a little bit jealous. My dad likes sweet pickle.
Really?
Yeah. He's also left-handed.
So that makes.
I think it goes.
You're just lining up.
I think it goes hand in hand. You're smarter. You're left-handed, so you're in baseball. If you're a pitcher or a hitter, you're more sought after. Same with football, and yeah. My daughter's also left-handed, and she likes sweet pickles.
I just love
correlation.
The bite.
So smarter people like sweet pickles.
Yes,
it could be.
Dumb. I like dill pickles.
Yeah.
Dummies for deals, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Another shirt. Bingo. Dummies for dills. She's got a big old dill pickle on.
Yes, sir.
Pickle sickle, though, you got to have one.
I'll try it. I mean, I'll try anything once.
The best parents who owned the tire store in their store, they used to sell pickle sickles there in their store.
Huh.
Very popular in the summer.
Could see that.
Yeah, and now pickle flavor is everywhere. It's on chips. It's on pork rinds. It's on sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
It's probably all over the place with other stuff, too. Dill-flavored steak? I don't know.
I'm a fan of all that.
Vinegar.
Yeah. I love
That's what pickles it.
I love
it's a cucumber, really. Is a sweet pickle also a cucumber before it becomes a sweet pickle? I don't know the answer.
I mean, yeah, right? It's got to be
right?
in the vinegar, right?
Just a different type of how they pickle it.
Well, now we have to search that up.
I know. We talked about pickles for about 8 minutes there. That was good. About 5. I got a local one, and David talked about this last week, but we really didn't dive into it, and it's kind of one of those things, moral of the story, when you're doing something illegal, don't call the authorities when something illegal has been done to you, because then you will also get in trouble. But this was right here in our own backyard. Ooh. This actually story was locally reported, but the one I picked up was from AL.com, and the title of the story is Birmingham man arrested, one shot in Panama City Beach drug robbery, third suspect sought. 2 Birmingham men were arrested and a third person sought in a drug-fueled shooting at a Panama City Beach home. Patrick Underwood, 21, and Kendrick Wesley, 19, are charged with armed robbery. One of them was shot during the holdup. Authorities are still searching for 19-year-old Christopher Hayden Beatty of Fultondale. I'd probably pronounce his last name. They might have found him by now. This is from the 29th. Bay County Sheriff's Office officials said more charges are pending. Deputies were dispatched at 3 a.m. Thursday morning last week to a shooting at 8407 Thomas Drive. The resident told deputies he had been contacted earlier in the day to sell marijuana to several visitors from the Birmingham area. He met them at his home and conducted the sale with 2 men, one wearing a ski mask. The men bought the marijuana and left, only to return a short time later. The 2 were agitated and accused the resident of the home of not giving them enough marijuana in exchange for the money. I don't know what the going rate is right now. You can probably find it on the exchange site, just like you can find yen to the American dollar and all that stuff. It's probably right on there too.
I would think.
Spot price of marijuana. It's just like gold and silver and copper. One of the two men went out to their vehicle and brought a third man into the home who also wore a ski mask. The victim, concerned about the anger of the three men, agreed to return the money for the marijuana. One of the men wearing a ski mask had a handgun and another carried a rifle. The three men got their money back, and as the men wearing a ski mask left, they grabbed the marijuana on their way out the door. The victim shut and locked the door with the third man still inside the residence. The victim ran upstairs to get his own firearm and warn others who lived in the home. Once he got his gun, he stopped at the top of the stairs, realizing the two armed men in ski masks had been allowed back into the home by the third man. Imagine that. You lock the door, you leave the guy in, he lets the other guys in. Shocker. It's unclear at the time who began shooting first, authorities said, but the resident of the home stated that the two men wearing ski masks began shooting at him, and he returned fire. The resident of the home shot one of the masked men in the abdomen. No one else was injured. Sounds like they were really good shots. These three men fled the scene, and the resident of the home called 911. Using the technology of the Bay ROC Real-Time Crime Center, investigators were able to identify and locate the suspect's vehicle. The suspects were found at a condo on Front Beach Road. Bay County deputies and Panama City Beach Police made a tactical entry into the unit. Both suspects, one of them with a gunshot wound, were found inside, as well as other people staying there. Authorities did not say which suspect was shot, but he was taken to a hospital and was in stable condition. Bay County's records show that Underwood is in it as being an inmate in the jail. Investigators detained 5 of the people inside the condo and got interviews and statements. Law enforcement believe the shooting was related only to the drug deal, according to a press release, and not random. And then they ask if you have any more information to call that hotline.
Dang. The third guy, he turned himself in.
Did he?
Yeah,
Nice. So updated.
Updated today or yesterday, 7:35.
There you go.
Dang. It's kind of like Bay County Sheriff with Liam Neeson and Taken. I will find you. And I will kill you. We will get you.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Nope. Yep. That's crazy.
Woo, indeed. But again, moral of the story in that one is, if you're doing illegal stuff and you call the cops, and for somebody doing something illegal on you, you're probably going to get arrested too.
Yes. Dang.
Lynn Haven Rob says maybe the third guy was in camouflage and the home residents did not know who he was inside.
Ooh. Interesting.
It's a whole nother perspective.
That would be hard to believe, but anything could happen.
Yeah.
He was camouflaged like the paint on the wall, and he just stood there and you couldn't see him. And they let the other guys in.
Right.
You got another one or no?
I do not, unless you want me to...
I got some more. This UPI website is kind of a plethora of information, but I'm trying to find one that's just extra special. I had another one in my phone somewhere from the other day that somebody sent me, and I can't seem to find it. But let's see. We talked about the mountain lion yesterday, right?
Yes.
We talked about cougars and bobcats and all that stuff. All right, let's look at this one. Disgusting delicacies. A lot of April Fools. You got one, David?
I haven't proofread this, and I don't know how long it is, but I don't want to read this whole thing. Essentially, we'll just read the headline.
There you go. Because we got 1 minute before we got to hit the old...
So a man built a secret apartment in an unused part of a shopping mall and lived there for 4 years before being caught. And after he got his condo bulldozed, him and several of his friends found a new home in an unused section of their local mall.
Man.
Couldn't do that here at Panama City, man, because...
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could.
I mean, you could. I just don't know about your access to running water and power and electricity and all that stuff. You know what?
Just take it from Dillard's, right?
Yeah, that's true. They are still there. I always thought it'd be fun to do a paintball game with, like 12 people, 6-on-6, just inside the abandoned mall.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be awesome. Do you know what time it is, Jay?
What time is it?
It's the race to Talladega.
Ooh.
All right, you know the deal. We're about to announce someone's name from that texted in this morning, and you're going to have an opportunity to give us a call at 850-215-6290. You text in, you gave us the keyword and the code word. Hopefully you're listening because it's a tough time to beat. Jerry Register, you are on the clock for the race to Talladega, trying to win yourself 2 tickets up there to the Geico 500. We are in our second week of the That was quick.
Dang.
Jerry was sitting on go.
Yes, sir.
Jerry was sitting on go. That is for sure. What would you say the best thing to do up at Talladega is, Jay?
The best thing to do?
Besides watching the race.
Watch people. You got to watch people.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo. Acres and acres and acres of all that good stuff. Do we have Jerry on the line? Jerry, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you doing today?
We're doing fantastic. You are our new leader of this week with 2 seconds on that race to Talladega. We had a great 4-second one yesterday, but man, you were sitting on go, ready to rock.
I was home today, working in the yard, and I said, I'm going to be ready today.
And you did it. You did it. Have you been up to Talladega before?
No, I have not. I've been to Daytona, but that is all of my racing experience other than when I was real young. We had a drag strip out on Thomas Drive.
Ooh.
Oh.
Years and years ago. Yep.
It still is a drag strip, it seems.
Certain
No,
areas.
that's going across the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
What year were you at Daytona, Jerry?
Oh, gosh. It was probably long time ago with my parents.
Okay. I got you. That was probably. I know right now. What do you think about Talladega? If you win these tickets, who are
2
you going to
seconds
take?
could be pretty damn tough to
I was
beat.
going to say.
I think that's our fastest that we've ever had is 2 seconds. I want to say 3.5 before this.
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to my wife about it. I've got a good friend who used to race, George Bass. He owns Panhandle Paint Decorating on Back Beach Road. I know he would be a guy who would like to go. But in the meantime, last week I called in. I think it was in 4:15. That's right, and I was 5 seconds, and so I was beaten by my good friend here in Lynn Haven. But I hope I will withstand.
Yeah, it's going to be, considering that's the all-time fastest time here on any race to any of the giveaways we've done, I think you got a good shot. But that doesn't mean you can't beat it. You just got to be ready.
That's right.
That's
that is
for sure.
true. Let me tell you guys, I have really enjoyed your program. I'm on the school board as well as I have a painting business. And when I'm painting, I listen to the 7 o'clock show. I listen to your show. And in the afternoon, maybe if I'm going home or maybe working late, it's just a real pleasant experience to hear about all kind of sporting activities, hearing what y'all have said about golfing. I played a little bit of golf when I was in college, but not now. I just have too many things going on. But just a very good thing to be able to hear what's happening within the sports world. My wife says, how do you have time to know all of this? So in the Final Four in the men's, I have 2 teams, Purdue as well as Connecticut.
Nice.
So I think I may have a chance. You reckon?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, 2 of the 4 is especially on the men's side, how crazy it's been is pretty impressive. So who do you like? Who do you think's gonna if it ends up being Purdue and UConn in that national championship? Who do you think gets it done?
I really believe UConn has got all the guns, if I can put it that way. But you don't ever know, and this is why it's called March Madness.
Absolutely.
And I saw something yesterday. It's not March anymore, but it's still madness.
Yeah, that's a no doubt. Pretty special. What NC
April
State.
Asylum.
Yeah, right. That's you just coined it. There you go.
That's great.
There you go. Well, Jerry, we appreciate you calling in, and we will keep you posted on your time. But that 2 seconds is pretty darn impressive, my friend. And hopefully, if you win those tickets, you got an opportunity to have a great time up there at the Talladega Super Speedway. Because when we had Brian Creighton on, he painted a beautiful picture of how awesome of an experience and really almost a destination event that is.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for what y'all do on ESPN. I really enjoy every minute I listen.
Hey, it's our pleasure, and those kind words we very much appreciate as we're just trying to keep on keeping on each day and have some fun here on the Inside Drive and maybe talk a little sports here and there.
That's what Joe Dirt said. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. And speaking of that, we got to go to a break. Our Afternoon Delight segment is over. Congratulations to Jerry Register on posting a 2-second qualifying time in this week's opportunity to win 2 tickets up there to the Geico 500. Jay, when we get back, what do you want to talk about?
Let me think about it.
All right. Do it over the break. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking you on the ultimate road trip to see the Orlando Magic. It's the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. We're taking a busload of ESPN listeners and driving them to see the Orlando Magic play the Chicago Bulls Sunday, April 7th. You'll watch all the action from a presidential suite. For your chance to win, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by Holland Hearts and PCB Hobby.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The remainder of the day, mostly clouds and 75 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south around 15 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of clouds and a possibility of thunderstorms and a low near 69. Tomorrow, heavily raining and partly cloudy and a high around 72. For Thursday, sunshine and a high of 69. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing KHS TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. All your local favorites. Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. Plus, catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks. ESPN, the NFL Network, and the NBA Network. It's more than just sports. KHS offers 50-plus movie channels, 150-plus entertainment channels, all your favorite news networks, and watch thousands of movies and TV shows on demand. All for just $40 a month with a one-time $2 billing fee. And you can watch up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score KHS TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the TV logo. That's ESPNPC.com and click the TV logo.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know. You're out!
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As always, live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We're creeping ever so closely to Masters Week, Jay, and I think we had a question from one of our listeners, and one of the listeners you may actually know out there, and someone you may have gave a lesson for. David?
All right, so he says, would it be worth taking a long club, mid-iron, wedge, and putter to the practice facility and sort of playing a mock round at the pace that you would normally play? Limit yourself to 3 hours and 100 strokes and see. That way you could set up situational shots a bit better.
That is a great idea, Trevor.
Absolutely. I don't know about doing the full 3 hours because that's a long time to be out there on the driving range if you can withstand it. But practicing, simulating yourself with a tee shot, trying to hit it in a window.
Right.
And then picking a target, trying to hit it to that target, and then just kind of creating the game of golf. And when you practice on the driving range is a fantastic way to try to get better in lieu of actually going out and playing on the golf course.
Yeah. Get behind the golf ball, look at your target, walk into the shot, create that tempo. It's like I always say on the lesson tee. Balance, rhythm, and balance. Yes. As I say on the lesson tee, it all starts behind the golf ball. I mean, once you set up to that golf ball, it's over with. It's done.
Pull the trigger.
It's 1, 2, 3, go.
And a follow-up question, why is it so important to start from behind the golf ball? So many people you see out there make the mistake of just getting addressed to the ball and then figuring out their target and all that stuff. Why is that so important to start from behind the golf ball?
Yeah, I mean, think about shooting a gun, think about shooting a basketball, throwing a baseball. You are in line with your target. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Yeah.
Twice the gun sound effects.
I know,
today.
right?
It's a big Tuesday.
It is a big Tuesday.
We're having a good show.
We are. But perpendicular. Golf is the only sport where you're perpendicular to your target. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Baseball?
Okay. Let me back up a little bit. But
I'm not here to fact check you, but I think baseball you stand perpendicular to target.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, but yeah, that would be one of the reasons why you want to stand behind the target. Use your imagination. That's what we've taught.
Visualization is key.
Yeah.
Some of the best golfers visualize where that ball is going to go.
That's right.
How often are you on the putting green?
That must be why I'm always hitting houses, because I'm just visualizing breaking windows.
Well, the brain is a powerful thing. Yeah. If your mind tells you you're going to do something, more often than not, it happens. How many times are you playing around a golf, Jay, and you've got a 15, 20-foot putt, and just something kind of happens where you're like, I know this putt's going to go in.
It's happen. It doesn't happen as often as I would like.
Agreed. But it's a weird feeling.
It is.
And all of a sudden you're like, this putt's going to go in.
I know.
And then it does.
Yep.
How do you recreate that mindset, that feeling?
I think there is a less than 1% of the golf population that has that
ability,
and they play Sunday afternoons at 4:00.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure the Live Tour players very good. They're very good. They don't play Sundays though. Oh, they do play Sundays, but it's in a shotgun.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they shotgun at 10 a.m. and they're done at 3 or 4.
They got stuff to do that afternoon, Jay.
They're making $500 million a year.
A couple of them are, yeah.
They don't have nothing to do.
They got plenty to do.
Yeah, all right.
Augusta National, they got to go get warmed up and practice.
True.
The Augusta National Women's Amateur set to get underway tomorrow, round 1 up there at Champions Retreat Golf Club.
Nice.
Practice round yesterday. It was looking beautiful out there. Round 1 gets underway tomorrow. Round 2 gets underway on Thursday. And I'm excited. Guess what? Who we're going to have on the show on Thursday?
Who?
Amy Bond, live from the Augusta National Women's Amateur.
It's
going to give
while.
us an update. It really hadn't been that long. She was on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But we need to get Trey Jones back on as well. Brooks Koepka just did the FSU golf team a huge favor by sending his private jet down and flying them to one of the tournaments they just went to. I think they won it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
So
that's nice. Yeah.
Even though he's a lift player, you still think it's nice?
Well, he's
Grace, sure. Jay. Grace.
Yeah.
Grace. Let Brooks send the plane. But FSU alum, pretty impressive. 5 majors, playing in the Masters.
Absolutely.
We're going to dive into the Masters next week. That is for sure.
Can't wait, man.
It's going to be good stuff.
It is.
It's going to be good stuff. Speaking of Live Tour and golf, Anthony Kim had sat down with David Feherty to do an interview about kind of what's transpired the last 12 years of his life. Obviously, he's back playing golf on the Live Tour. Didn't open up with a great tournament, but had a better second tournament when he played into it. But he's had a great interview with Feherty. The whole thing will come out here eventually, but some of the highlights for it was he went out and said, obviously he had some injuries. He had a thumb injury, some other things going on. But he said, I'm not going to lie. I was around some bad people, Kim said. People took advantage of me, scam artists. When you're 24 or 25 and even 30 years old, you don't realize snakes are living under your roof. Kim said that he was blackmailed and taken advantage of. While it's unclear who Kim was referring to. In his playing days, he was well known to travel with a small entourage on and off the course. His group was even featured in Kim's photos. Although in his return, Kim's entourage has seemingly disappeared. Now his travel mates appear largely to just be his wife and their young daughter. But through the grace of God, I am here, Kim continued in the interview clip. I'm able to tell my story and hopefully inspire other people. And again, my daughter going to be proud of me no matter what. And no matter how I play, that's the most important thing to me. Kim makes his live. This was a couple of weeks ago. He made his live debut over there at Trump National. But yeah, it's coming up. What do you think? AK getting taken advantage of.
Man, I just don't remember Anthony Kim much back 12 or 15 years ago. I just don't.
He was pretty dominant. Remember his splash on the Ryder Cup tour?
Was he?
Yeah. He's top 5 in the world, I think, at one point.
So I mean, just to kind of sum it up, he took a break from golf.
No, he had some injuries that plagued him, but it also sounds like now he's starting to kind of tell some of the other things that were going on in his life while he was gone from golf for so long.
You might would say that Jay's memory is just a little bit foggy.
Sitting on that foghorn button.
I just don't remember.
You don't remember AK? Ryder Cup? Firing the crowd up?
I guess I just wasn't into golf back then. I don't know.
I feel like you talked about this when we were talking about the Ryder Cup not too long ago.
No.
I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah. I do see he's got some major tattoos on his left arm there. I do see that.
You do too. Just to see the people look if they're watching on Facebook.
No.
But yeah, I mean, when you're a professional athlete, that's one of those things you've really got to be careful who you keep in your circle, because there's just a lot of people with bad intentions out there, and it sounds like they got to Anthony Kim as well. But it's good to see him back playing golf. It's good to see his mentality, and your life changes once family gets involved, and you heard him say it. I mean, regardless of how he plays on the golf course, his young daughter is going to be proud of him, and that's it's good to see him moving in the right direction. That's for sure. But a lot of dark details from this particular interview, which I would suggest you go out and watch there with David Feherty.
You think he's just kind of had to go through some stuff for 10 or 12 years, like just create some gratitude in his life, and now he's back and better than ever?
Yeah, I don't know better than ever as far as golf-wise, but probably as a person, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in another article I just pulled up from SI.com, it says, saying he dealt with numerous surgeries, addiction, and some very, very dark moments. Anthony Kim offered a broad picture of what, without specifics, of the last 12 years that saw him drop out of professional golf, with nary a word, only recently returning to the golf league. I need to watch this interview. It sounds like it's going to be pretty good.
I love that word, nary. Nary a word.
Nary a word. It's going to be tomorrow, 8 a.m. Is going to be dropping that interview on Live Golf's site.
You never know what you're going to get from Feherty either. Feherty.
He's one of my faves.
Yeah. The fairway.
Fairway Feherty.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. But yeah, good to see AK back there playing some professional golf. Braves got another dub yesterday, Jay, and a kind of a weird ending to that game. I think somebody sent me a clip. Did they pitch the end of that game with no batter?
They might have done that. They only played eight innings
because of on and off rain delays. It was in the 40s, but somebody, I think it was one of my friends sent me a video. I didn't hear the sound with the video, but at the end of the game, the pitcher was pitching with no batter in the box, and like everybody had left. It was really weird.
Really?
But a 9-0 victory there for the Braves against the 0-4 Chicago White Sox, who are off to a tough start. I don't know his first name. I think it's Rafael. No, Ronaldo Lopez. I don't know why I said Rafael. It seemed like the right R word at the time. He's getting the start tonight against the White Sox again, as they're looking to take the series and maybe get a sweep if they can get the dub today and tomorrow. But that'll be right here on ESPN Northwest. Florida coverage starts after the afternoon underdogs, followed by the first pitch at 6:40 right here in the Central Time Zone. So I need to look up more stuff on how that game ended yesterday.
Yeah, I've never heard of such. That's
something funky happened. I don't know exactly what it was. I probably shouldn't have brought it up without having the information, but guess what? I did.
Well, there wasn't a batter in the batter's box. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, that's true.
If he throws 4 balls, I wonder if the imaginary guy walks to first.
It's like playing with one other person on the street or in the yard. Ghost runner on first, ghost runner on second.
Yeah.
How do you get a double play, though?
You just got to use your imagination.
Use your imagination, just like in the beautiful game of golf. I did talk about, briefly talked about DJ Burns, and he is getting some real NFL interest. I mean, you've seen some other former basketball players turn tight ends and stuff like that. There probably has, but I don't know if there's ever been a former basketball player that has turned into an offensive tackle. But reported from Jim Nagy on Twitter, he got texts from GMs, assistant GMs, and a college director within an hour of when he posted a picture of DJ Burns and how tough he is down low and how great of a basketball player he is. But he's getting some legitimate NFL interest. He's 6'9", 275 pounds, which would make him one of the tallest players in NFL history. He'd obviously have to bulk up a little bit to fit that kind of mold as an offensive tackle. He's obviously focused on basketball through his young sports career. He was 6'8" by the time he was a freshman in high school, eventually signing with Tennessee as a 4-star recruit in 2018. And then after transferring from Tennessee to Winthrop, where's Winthrop, Jay?
Oh,
that
boy.
is Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Okay.
He transferred from Winthrop to NC State in 2022. He emerged as a star and has been the face of the Wolfpack's rising run and surprising run there to the Final Four and all that good stuff. But he's got good feet, he's got good vision, he's got good hands, and potentially, if he doesn't, I don't know if he's got an opportunity to move on to the NBA. But interesting concept that some NFL GMs are looking at him to see if he's an opportunity to move on. What do you think?
So Bo Jackson went baseball, football. Deion Sanders, we talked to him about him earlier. He's baseball, football. So no one has ever went basketball to football then.
Well, they played both sports at the same time, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had lots of people transition from one sport to the other. I mean, there's a lot of tight ends in the NFL that played basketball. I mean, Antonio Gates is one of the ones that comes to mind. He was a big-time college basketball player that went on to be one of the best NFL tight ends in history. But, yeah, you just don't see it too often. But and especially not a skill like Deion and Bo. I mean, you're talking about skilled positions in the NFL. Not that the offensive line is probably the most important position to win games, but a little different. Different.
But do you think DJ being so big in the paint, like what we talked about yesterday, has that been kind of a big deal? Why you think NC State's moved on as long as they have?
He's a huge part of it, no doubt. I mean, he's just been such a presence inside the paint, not just offensively, but defensively as well. I mean, for a guy that's 275 pounds, he's got quick feet, he's got great hands. Now he's going to be in a little bit of a size disadvantage going up against Zach Edey in the Final Four. Zach Edey, I believe, is 5'4", and DJ Burns is 6'11", if I'm not mistaken. But he's very physical, and you saw it a little bit in the last game with Purdue as Edey was getting pushed around a little bit, and that's just, I think if they're going to win, he's going to have to be a huge part of it. And he's been a huge part of it in these 9 straight games that they've won starting in the beginning of the ACC tournament. Pretty impressive stuff, that's for sure. That's for sure. Remind everybody, Jay, you've got your summer camps on the docket coming up, right? Some good stuff, some opportunities. It's hard to believe we only got about 2 months of school left. And if you're not lining up your kids' summer opportunities right now, you may be left behind. That is for sure.
Yep.
But you got several opportunities for kids ages 7 to 14, if I'm not mistaken.
7 to 14, that's right. Yeah, ages 7 to 10, you got golf camps going on June 11th through the 14th. That's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That is, again, for ages 7 to 10. And then also for ages 7 to 10, we'll go that next week, June 18th through the 21st, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then that Friday will be 9 a.m. to noon with a party and awards kicking off at 11:30 on that Friday. If your kid is between the ages of 11 and 14, opportunities June 4th through the 7th, and then also July 9th through the 12th. So that's for ages 11 to 14.
And you can sign up for one, or you can sign up for both.
Yep, you can do both. If it's still open. I mean, we still have a few spots left. But yeah, you can go to golfwithjay.com, get signed up, click on that student clinic booking up at the top.
There you go.
If you're on your mobile device, you got to click on the hamburger. Is that what they call it, the hamburger?
I think that's what the kids call it.
Yeah, I think so.
With the 3 lines.
The 3 lines looks like a hamburger.
Does it, though?
I mean, I don't know.
Some pretty thin buns.
Not one I would want to eat.
That's right.
No, it's a plant-based burger. One of our listeners texted.
Impossible.
So the White Sox first base coach was in the restroom when they were restarting, and they couldn't restart without him. So the video I saw was the pitching just being pitched. It didn't count, but they were waiting for the first base coach to come out of the dugout there, or the clubhouse.
Okay.
And get back out onto the field so they could finish up.
I was about to say, you had me watching highlights over here over and over again trying to figure out what was going on.
Thank you, Terry, for texting that one in. But yeah, I mean, it was chilly. They were down. They were going to lose. They called it a day. I think the temperature was like 44 or 47 degrees, something like that.
Yeah, rain's in the area today as well, and it's looking at 30 degrees for a 6:40 start Central Time. So we'll see how it plays out.
Don't hit the ball on the end of the bat.
No. I mean, that even in regular weather on a wood bat.
Yeah.
You talk about when it's cold. Oh.
Yeah.
I used to hate taking batting practice when it was cold, man. Oh.
Were you a 2-glover?
I rarely ever wore batting gloves.
Really?
Ever.
You got hands like David Hayes. You don't need gloves.
Come on, man. Tell the people.
Soft, supple hands he's got.
That's the opposite of what you need.
That's true. He doesn't have to use the stuff you use for your hands.
Stick pine tar.
Or a pine tar.
Yeah,
I was thinking of the
stick-ems
working
for
man
football.
hands. Yeah. All that good stuff. They're still allowed to use pine tar still, right?
Yeah, as long as you just don't do it like George Brett.
I think I had a flashback to last year's show because I think I asked that same question at some point last year during the baseball season.
Yeah. Do you remember George Brett coming out of the dugout when they finally found that pine tar? Man,
yeah, he was
livid. I mean, like, good gracious.
Busted.
Oh, man.
He was upset. Hey, you always say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I mean, as livid as he was, man, he had guilty written all over. He had guilty written all over his face.
Normally, when you're that demonstrative,
when you're that upset, usually you're doing that to overcome what you've done that wasn't correct.
That's right.
The louder you are, the more red flags it seems to push up.
That's
we see
right.
more often than not. But we got one more segment left today on this Tuesday, Jay. A week from today will be Tuesday of Masters Week.
I'm ready.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen to that music.
Oh, the
Hear
piano.
the birds.
Yes.
See the green grass. The azaleas in bloom.
Jim Nance. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Yeah.
Is this his last Masters?
I hope not.
Me too.
Oh. Or is it Vern's last one?
I think it's Vern's last one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's somebody's last one.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. It was Jim Nance's last NCAA Final Four.
Vern's still doing it?
I think this is his last year.
Then I'm changing my name in the group. That's the reason why I went with Jim Nance, is because I thought Vern was done.
We'll
so.
confirm that in the break, and we'll report back when we get back, make sure that's correct. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega, right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Hey, Bay County, it's Dean Jackson with Old Glory Washing Solutions and the one and only BBIA. It's that time of year again. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo is back this Friday and Saturday at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Over 70 vendors, ranging from home improvement and landscaping to boats and ATVs. This free event is for the whole family, with food, live music, and even kids workshops. Don't miss it. The Great American Home and Recreation Expo this Friday and Saturday, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. We'll see you there.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're talking so much about Masters. We'll talk way more about it next week. But don't forget, head over to ESPNPC.com. Click on the Blast at Bay Point and enter yourself. It's going to take you to Masters.com. You just got to create a quick account, but you're going to play some Masters Fantasy Golf with us. Winner of that Masters Fantasy Golf, the end of next Sunday, will be going home with a round of 4 to the beautiful Bay Point Golf Club. All you got to do, again, head over to ESPNPC.com, click on the Blast at Bay Point, and go sign up for that. Because, you know, what's more fun than backing up the NCAA March Madness bracket than jumping in a Masters pool?
Right.
I mean, Masters pool is where it's at.
Yes, sir.
It's first major of the year, Jay Henley.
It's
and it's the last Masters for Vern. He is, in fact, calling it this year, though.
Changing my name, then.
You got to.
Yep.
What's your favorite Vern call at the Masters?
It's got to be the oh gosh, I don't know what year, when Tiger hit the chip from the left left side of the green.
It was either 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, okay. Because Tiger won it 01. Anyways, That's my favorite one. And if you look back, and we were talking about this at the break, if you look back, Tiger had a ball that was on the edge of the rough, and then he had, obviously the tight fairway, right there. And man, what a crazy shot!
Just nipped it perfectly, and one of the most famous moments in Masters history. As there's been a lot of famous moments in Masters history, there is no doubt about that. But that was certainly one of them. And just the ball slowly rolling, almost stops for a second on the edge, and then falls in.
Now, does he say yes, sir, with that one? Because I know the 86.
Yes, sir, was Jack.
Yes, there was Jack.
Burns and Tigers was the.
Have you ever?
Have you in your life?
Yes, in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the Vern voice, of course.
Right.
But one of those great calls.
What about your Vern moment?
2005 was when that went down.
Okay.
Because I think the next year 6 might have been getting close to when Phil got that first one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all that fun stuff last week.
Can't wait.
I think my favorite Vern call, maybe that obviously at the Masters, but the putt on Sawgrass, that was him, right? That called it when Tiger made that bomb at Sawgrass. Was that Vern or was it somebody else? Might have been somebody else.
Oh, God.
Better than most. Was that Vern? It might not have been Vern. I don't know. I should know that off the top of my head, but he's had a lot of good calls.
I want to,
David, especially in SEC football.
Yeah, that's where
which is cool that he reaches across multiple sports.
Yeah,
it's like Jim Nantz. I mean, these guys are just they're so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. I want to know who. I
don't think it was Vern. Why would he be? Why would
memories and memorabilia that you can carry with you from doing those things, and then you'd be like Jim Nantz. You just get yourself a little golf course at your house.
Oh yeah, that par 3 right now. It simulates number 7 at Pebble.
Gary Koch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I know.
Still a great call though.
That was a good call.
I thought it was Jerry Pepsi.
Yeah. Jerry Dr. Pepper. But yeah, Vern seems to say that his yes sir call was his favorite call at Augusta, with the 2005 chip in by Tiger on number 16 being right there, close second.
I have a 2-minute clip on that. If we could get to it.
With Vern?
Yeah.
Vern, save that for Masters Week for sure.
Well, the great thing, if you go back to Nicklaus in '86, when he said yes, sir, it was timed perfectly with Jack Nicklaus's fist pump.
Yep.
Because he went yes, sir,
yeah, and he raised the one putter. That was on 17, right?
No, I think that was 16. Vern's always
no, because 16 Nicklaus hit it real close and made birdie.
Okay,
and then I think 17 is when he made it, and at that point I think got tied with Greg Norman, and then Greg Norman famously bogeyed 18 and lost by a stroke to Nicklaus in '86.
Gotcha.
Which I think Nicklaus is still the oldest Masters winner in history.
46 years old.
If I'm not mistaken, because Tiger was a couple years younger than that when he won back in 19.
Mm-hmm.
19, right?
Yeah, that was
which is crazy. That's already 5 years ago.
I know, man.
It felt like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That is for sure.
I remember that they had weather moving in on Sunday. They got everybody out early Sunday morning because weather was on the way. And yeah, man, what a special day. God, that was a special day.
No doubt. Probably will never happen like that again. A couple local scores real quick. The Arnold Marlins baseball team still stays on fire, continuing their best start in program history as they are currently playing in a tournament. They beat Seymour yesterday 3-0 to extend their record to 13-0. Arnold softball, after suffering a loss last week, got another win over Liberty County yesterday, 4-2, extending their record to 14-1. And then Crittenden County beat Rutherford yesterday 9-8. Got a couple games coming up this afternoon. You've got, like I said, Arnold's playing in that baseball tournament right now. They're playing Apollo. Again, Apollo's 5-4. Arnold trying to go 14-0 on the baseball side of things. You got Colquitt County taking on Mosley. You got Bozeman taking on Bay. And then over on softball, you got Rutherford versus Mosley. And I wanted to ask David Hayes. He's got something. He's got a big day coming up on April 12th, playing a little bit of golf and then doing something pretty cool that afternoon as well. But David, talk about something you're going to be involved with some baseball action and the I think it's what's called the alternative baseball.
Yeah, it is alternative baseball. It's April 12th.
I think that's what your post said.
Oh, Well, then scratch that post. It's April 14th.
Oh, okay.
Which is so I'll go
that
fix
Sunday.
that. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
Sunday.
Okay.
Ooh, I was about to say I might have overbooked myself.
You're gonna be a little tired playing some golf because you were playing it. You guys are playing in the morning, Shotgun.
Morning.
So
Yeah.
You would have been able to make it work, but it would have been a long day.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, tell everybody a little bit about what it's about. It kind of ties into a little bit about like the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance that you and James Tipton do out there at Bay Point Golf Club, and something kind of very similar, but on the baseball side of things.
Yeah, so actually like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I stumbled across a post on Facebook about that alternative baseball organization. So I reached out to the guy to see if he wanted to maybe come on the show and talk about it because I thought it was really cool, very resemblant of like the Miracle Baseball leagues and stuff like that. And I love for anyone to have the opportunity to play sports in general, but especially the sport that I grew up loving above all other sports, and that's the sport of baseball. So I was checking my email one day and he sent me an email asking if I'd want to play in the game with him. And I was like, absolutely. So it's something that's just designed to, it raises money for their organization and also for those leagues to be able to spread inclusivity there for baseball. And so it's people with disabilities, and they'll be showcasing, it'll have other local celebrities. I'm not sure. I hate using the term celebrity when it comes to me, but for other people, there'll be other legitimate celebrities, and then I'll be there along with them. So yeah, and it'll have like a mixture of the people with disabilities playing, and then also local people. And so it'll be a great time, and it's a name your ticket or name your price for the ticket. So it's going to be at Gulf Coast, 2:05 start time on Sunday, April 14th. And we're actually going to have Taylor on with us next Monday, and talk a little bit more about that and get some more details on that. So I'm really excited about the opportunity. I wouldn't even care about playing in the game. Like I would have shown up for however I could help in for that situation, for that organization, because I think that it's something that's really awesome. And they're actually on somewhat of a tour right now, going to different cities. And I just think that it's absolutely awesome.
Just another way of using sports, regardless of competitiveness or whatever it may be, but just sports can be such a modality for people with disabilities to get some therapy and get out and have fun. And then, when I saw your post about that, I was like, kudos, David, because that's what it's all about. And that's what you guys do,
That's right.
Getting people out on the golf course and dealing with PTSD and disabilities and, limbs being gone. It's tough. It's hard to live like that. And the way to get out there and enjoy it, it's special. And just thought that was really cool, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. One of our listeners, Gator Jamie, I'm not sure if he's listening right now, but he lost one of his legs, and I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but he goes on hikes and runs and does marathons and all kind of stuff, and it's an inspiration, man. It's an inspiration because all the time, for those of us who have all of our limbs or are not affected by any sort of disabilities, no matter what those disabilities are, we take it for granted, man. Like I've got a buddy of mine, Terry, who comes on the show every now and again, and he's got multiple sclerosis, and some days he really struggles to walk, and he's an inspiration to me as well, to be able to have the mindset that he has and cares for other people more than he cares for himself most of the time. And it's just one of those where it's like, man, you kind of just have to take a step back and be so thankful and grateful for what it is that the Lord's blessed us with.
Absolutely. Amen. Absolutely. All right, Jay, I'm going to end the show with this because I want to get your thoughts on it. This is actually the Afternoon Delight story that I was trying to find, and I found it. It's kind of sports related, but I'm going to throw you for a loop here. This is from golfmagic.com in their equipment segment. Orange balls can lead to better scores, suggest shock golf study.
Huh.
Statistics back this up.
I know we're visual. Interesting.
Yes.
I would have thought it would have been them bright yellowns.
Right.
Well, they got all sorts of colors now, and even TaylorMade's making like splash golf balls for kids that have like paint. It's just not for kids. Yeah, anybody can use it, but because it's a golf ball. But this was the research team led by Dr. Dean Callaghan. He's the director of in-core mechanical engineering and lecturer at SETU, formerly known as IT Carlo, undertook the study on behalf of SEED to prove or indeed disprove the many various theories that the color of a golf ball can affect performance. What they discovered shocked even the research team. With a three-year study, which included more than 10,000 rounds of golf from more than 700 golfers ranging from handicaps of +1 to a 36, finding that orange golf balls improve the score of all golfers and ability over the traditional white golf ball. Players using orange golf balls on average scored 0.8 shots better than the color of any other golf ball, including traditional white ones, while players the handicap of 15 or higher saved up to 2.1 shots per round on 18 holes. While the research team is still investigating the exact cause of this variance, one key suggestion is that orange pigments in particular attract more heat from the sun, thus resulting in an average of 1.04 degrees Celsius increase in temperature can facilitate a potentially crucial 2 to 3 5-yard distance gain.
Steve, on April 12th, I'm going to need you to separate all the orange and the yellows, man.
Just give me the oranges, Steve. Just give me the oranges.
Well, you brought the scientific part to it. I was going to ask you guys, when you think of orange, what do you
David
think
hates
of?
orange.
Orange, you glad you ain't a banana?
Yeah. One other key point is that another explanation put forward by the research team is that orange has proven to boost concentration and have mood-lifting qualities, encouraging golfers to relax over the ball, particularly when attempting high-risk, high-reward shots. I'm just 10... That's a lot. I mean,
that is a lot.
This isn't just, hey, we're going to do it for a few months and see what happens. They had 10,000 rounds of golf over 3 years, 700 golfers participating in this study. Orange golf balls.
So 3 years. I mean, typically, I know like the cliche thing to say is that, typically your beginner golfers will go to the orange golf balls. Do you remember back in the day, right? Like a lot of the orange beginners would go orange golf
easier
ball.
to see, right?
So 3 years, you take somebody that scores 120, 130, they get better. I could see it. I could.
Well, one more quick point before we reveal the answer to our poll question is that, where did it just go? I just had it. Orange golf balls. Oh, one other thing. Meanwhile, participants using orange golf balls lost an average of 1.7 balls per round in comparison to white golf balls, which was 2.2 per round. That's significantly shortening the average round length and reducing the financial cost per round. So not only does it lead to lower scores, it leads to financial gain.
Yes, it
got me hooked.
There it is. There it is. Stock up on orange golf balls.
Yep.
You gonna make the move?
I could.
You should.
Yeah.
I'll make fun of you.
I have a few in the bag, and I just never use them. So lower scores, here we come.
There you go. All
Practice?
right.
Nah, I buy orange balls, baby.
Hey,
That's right.
This is just science. It's data. It's statistics.
By the game.
All right, Jay. What do you know the answer? There our listeners said 67% of the people said the average ticket price is $21. 33% said it was $33, and nobody said it was $9. What's the correct answer?
That is C. $33 to get into a live event.
That's a very and that's any live event across the board, regardless of the course.
Now I don't know about all those details. Just scratch the surface of that.
Just scratch the surface. I shouldn't ask a follow-up question.
Scratch and sniff.
What are you going to leave the people with today? Cracker Jack box, scratch and sniff. I don't know why. When's the last time you had a Cracker Jack box?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Tuesday's half gone.
A little over half gone. Little over gone with the wind, some might say.
Leonard Skinner, Tuesday's gone.
It's getting a little breezy out there. Tell the people what they want to hear. End the show. I don't want to do it.
No, you're the host. I'm the co-host.
You've done this. Yeah, so the co-host should also end the show as well. You've been listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m., followed by coverage of the Braves at the Chicago White Sox. First pitch at 6:40. We'll be back on the air tomorrow with Keith Fleming. Y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
The Astros have reached the last 7 ALCS series, one shy of the longest LCS streak in history, which is the Atlanta Braves, who set the record in the 90s, advancing to 8 straight LCSs. But Atlanta only won one of those World Series during that span. The Astros have won 2.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The remainder of the day, mostly clouds and 75 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south around 15 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of clouds and a possibility of thunderstorms and a low near 69. Tomorrow, heavily raining and partly cloudy and a high around 72. For Thursday, sunshine and a high of 69. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results?